Now, to get a rundown on today's reopening from a police point of view, I caught up this afternoon with Acting Chief Superintendent Rhys Wildman from the Gold Coast. Acting Chief Superintendent, has the first day of reopening been less or more chaotic than what you expected?
No, it's certainly been less chaotic. For us, we were expecting significant traffic delays. The first days are always challenging when we change from one particular border pass into another as part of the new directions that come in. We're up to border direction number 56 here since March last year. So, it was pleasantly surprising. We've seen delays of only about 20 minutes on our main highway into the Gold Coast from New South Wales. That's the M1.
How many crossings of police manning and how many police involved in this?
Yeah, just here on the Gold Coast, we've got 5 sites being staffed, and today is 435 days the police have been on the borders since it started in March last year.
Some border community business leaders were telling me that it would be good if they could have a separate lane to do their business across the border and come back again quickly, as opposed to joining the general line. Is that possible in some of these crossings?
Yeah, we've looked at that many times over the last 18 or so months, nearly 2 years actually. The issue we find is that the vast majority of traffic relates to border zone residents. And as a result, if we actually create a special lane for border zone residents, then that would actually be the vast majority of the traffic, and all the other vehicle checkpoints would actually be empty. So it's a challenging position, but then we found that the mix we've got at the moment has worked best for us over the last, like I said, 18 months, nearly 2 years.
So were any of these travellers getting to the crossings and not having the right passes or the right paperwork?
Yeah, we saw a significant number this morning coming in with what's called a general pass, a G pass. And what that means is that they're saying that they're coming into Queensland, but they're actually not vaccinated. And of course, one of the key requirements of coming into Queensland is being vaccinated. So unfortunately, what happens is that people were obviously so keen to fill out their pass on the system, they didn't fill it out completely, and as a result, it issued the wrong pass. The correct pass for people coming from a hotspot is actually a general vaccination pass, which is a GV pass. So we'll work through that. These are the type of issues we encounter over the first couple of days of any new change.
Is there a need to have a pass at all? Like if they've got something on a smartphone or a hard copy of a vaccination certificate, isn't that all you require? Why would you need a separate pass?
Yeah, it's because what we have is the border zone residents actually, they don't need to comply with the testing requirement, the PCR testing. So as a result, the vast majority of people, as I highlighted earlier, actually come across straight from the border itself, from the border residents. And as a result, they don't require a PCR test. So if we just had a general pass or no pass, it would make it very difficult to manage those people because it's all about risk, and that's where we're sitting at the moment. Our border operations are all risk-based.
But couldn't those who just cross, their border community people, couldn't they just have a pass? Because usually passes like this, border passes, are instituted to give exemption to local people. They haven't really been used once, for a general population before.
Yeah, that's correct. But once again, because there's different requirements across those coming in from the hotspots, and we have seen a lot of people coming through today from the hotspot areas, and especially in New South Wales, and we'll see those numbers continue to increase, especially as we head into the holidays. There just needs to be a differentiation to make it easier for our officers as well, to make sure that they're approaching and targeting the right people as part of this risk-based approach. So we know that the border zone residents are really low risk for us at the present time because they're very high vaccination rates and very low COVID rates. So having them easily identified makes it far simpler for them to cross across the borders.
And in terms of the most intensive traffic, when do you expect that to happen? The week before Christmas?
Yeah, we actually, on average, prior to COVID occurring, we saw an average of over 50,000 vehicles a day at this time of the year crossing into southern Queensland through the Gold Coast. And we expect that those numbers will return in the coming weeks. So obviously, we'll see how it plays out. It's a little bit quieter today, which is good news for us because it gives people a little bit of time just to get used to the new system. But we expect those numbers will increase in the coming days.
So far, so good. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.